Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, everybody.
Come on in the room, as we always say. Come on in the room. Come one, come all, come big, come small.
It's the introduction for me.
I don't even know where I got that from, but wherever I found it, it seems to have stuck. So for those of you guys who have no idea who we are or where you found yourself, I am Candy Sincerely Johnson.
And I am Shawn Johnson.
And together we do a whole lot of things. But on this page, what we do over here is we help you 5X. 5. 2, 3, 4. Girl, 5. We help you 5X your income within 12 months. That's what we work with you to do, girl. That is what we work very diligently with you to do. In the process of doing that, we typically meet here at the table. We have financial conversations. We talk about all things related to money. So when something is buzzing in the streets, when the girls and the boys are talking in the streets, usually the conversation circles back around, it makes a U-turn, and it finds itself back here with us.
It does.
We look at that thing from a big picture, and we dissect it and pick it apart, girl. And we unpack that thing like it's never been unpacked before.
Yes.
Y'all like that? Y'all like that? So shout out to all of the people who are watching. Shout out to all of the best friends. Shout out to all of our subscriber best friends. We love each and every one of you guys and are so glad that you're here. Did you have anything you want to say before we get started?
Just hello to everybody. Did you want me to say some hello to the best friends?
Sure.
Hello, Miss Vania. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Marlena. Hey, John. Hi, Miss Debbie, Kayron, Jennifer, Melissa. All you guys coming on in. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi to all of the best friends, and shout out to our replay community, baby. Our replay community is second to none.
Yes, unmatched, honey.
Yes, yes, yes. So we got an interesting topic. This has been buzzing, girl, for the past week or two. This thing has been buzzing. Every time we think it's gonna fizzle out, it don't. And so many people were like, girl, you breezed over that topic on that one video, girl. But we need you to do a full-fledged read. Huh? We need you to do a full-fledged table read.
Right.
So before we get into the full topic, you said you don't have any announcements or anything?
I don't have any announcements.
Okay, well let's break this thing down. Who are we talking about and what's going on, girl?
So tonight we are going to be talking about Bishop Lamor Whitehead.
I can't call him that. Okay.
Everywhere that's what he's being referred to, or you can just call him Lamor Whitehead, whatever you want to call him.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to be talking about. For those that don't know who he is a religious figure. I'll call him that. A religious figure in New York, who has recently gotten into some legal troubles. Okay. He's not new to legal troubles, but he just recently got into some more legal troubles. And that is who we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Renee said Bishop 10 toes down.
Bishop 10 toes down. Girl, that sounded full. Every time he go live, at some point in the video, he mentions these 10 toes.
Yes. Debbie said bling bling bishop.
Bling bling bishop. Yep. They have referred to him as the bling bling bishop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you did a little bit of research. What did you find in your research?
So girl, it was so much, but I'm just trying to bring what's relevant to the conversation. So I'm really only going to focus on kind of what took place this year and maybe just a little pinch of last year.
Okay.
Because I mean, his record dates back to 2004, 2005. Okay. So
girl, this rap sheet is
that's
longer than time.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said he is not new to the legal troubles. Okay. So recently, he was just arrested by the FBI. Now, first of all, let's put a pin there. When the FBI gets involved, okay, I'll leave it at that. So he just recently got arrested by the FBI. Okay. He got arrested and indicted on 2 counts of wire fraud, 1 count of extortion, and 1 count of material false statements. So he likes to dibble dabble in the highfalutin crimes.
White collar crimes.
And the white
collar crimes. The ones where they let you hang yourself because they sit back and they receive complaints that something has transpired, right? They receive complaints that something has gone awry. They start to do investigations, right? They start to dig to see if there's any merit to the claim is what happens, right? So after they discover that there's merit to the claim, Then they assemble a team, depending on how big or small the case is or the claim is.
Mm-hmm.
They put a team of investigators together and they start to watch. They start to watch. Before they ever approach you, they start to watch. They start to watch what you do, what you say, who you talking to, who you interacting with, how are you spending your money, all of the things, girl, they start to watch.
Yes. Because one of the things that I do know is that the FBI don't get involved unless, okay. All right. So, the 2 counts of wire fraud. One of the counts is based on a case that was that came about last year in 2021. This is where he took advantage of. I'm gonna say he took advantage of one of his congregants, allegedly, of one of his parishioners, by taking $90,000 of this poor woman's life savings,
her retirement,
advising her that he was going to help her fix her credit and invest the money into a property.
How much do credit cost?
Last I checked, credit was $90,000.
Okay.
But maybe he's doing some real highfalutin type of stuff.
So he's going to fix her credit.
Allegedly.
And then what was he allegedly?
And then also invested into a property, into a rehab type of property. Okay. So he claimed he was going to pay all of it back plus $100 each month until the property was fully renovated. Then in May of...
So he's helping her. She hired him to help do 2 things. Let's unpack this. He's allegedly hired by you for $90,000 to fix your credit and help you find and secure a property. Why is he so if that would be his fee to fix the property, to fix your credit, why is he then owing her money back? I'm confused. What's the arrangement?
Because it was an investment. It was just supposed to be an investment.
Okay.
Into this. So maybe she was going to be investing to help him flip the property and then in return getting some type of return on her investment. Okay. Allegedly, according to the claim, because this has ended up in court, it's actually still in court right now. In May of 2021, allegedly, she receives a text from him that said, hey, that really wasn't an investment. That was more a campaign contribution to me. Because, he was running for a borough president at one point. So then he flipped it and said, no, that was a campaign contribution. And I don't owe you anything. Allegedly. Come to find out, allegedly that money was then used to put as a down payment on a home. In Saddle River, New Jersey.
Scoot a little closer to me. I feel like you're far back.
Oh, you feel like I'm far? Okay. So that's what allegedly happened with the money. Okay. Now, just from stuff that I was looking around and finding, they stated that deal didn't go through. And so he then ended up investing in some apartments in Connecticut.
Right. Because supposedly he was taking her money and he was going to buy a mansion for himself, his wife, and his family, his children. Right. That deal fell through. Sean skated over that part.
Yeah.
So he took the lady from the congregation, he took her $90,000. He was taking the $90,000, he was putting that down on his own personal mansion. That deal fell through. But then he turned around and bought some apartments.
Yes, in Connecticut.
The same apartments that he always be bragging about, I own the block. Yeah, but you took Sister, what's her name?
Sister Anderson.
Sister Anderson's money to buy it. You allegedly took Sister Anderson's money to buy it. Right?
And she was supposed to have been getting some type of return from this investment.
She was supposed to have been getting some sort of return back. Okay. You got anything else before I get going? Because I feel my ears burning at the tip.
So that was the first count of wire fraud. The second count of wire fraud was based off of some things that he did this year where he extorted $5,000 from a businessman. Then turned around and tried to get another $500,000 from this businessman who remains nameless. Allegedly, stating that he was going to be able to get some favors from the New York City government because, he's friends with Eric Adams, which is the mayor.
Yeah.
Okay. So he claimed that. So that was the 2 counts of wire fraud plus the extortion because he actually got the $5,000 because the authorities told the businessman, go ahead and give it to him. All right. Then one count of material false statements because he lied about a second cell phone that he claimed he only had one cell phone.
Yeah.
And no, he actually has more than one cell phone. So that was the false misstatement. So he's facing up to 65 years in prison.
Okay.
But he says he's completely innocent of everything. Everything.
K-Ron said, I've told y'all, if you're going to go to prison, you go for real. You're treated like royalty. Best friend Debbie said, well, let's not forget, he also said he didn't know the woman and didn't take a thing.
Yeah. Just like when he was doing his presidential run for the borough, there was a campaign worker who said that he stiffed him out of $56,000 allegedly, which he is saying that is a false claim, that has no merits whatsoever. I don't know what this person is talking about.
Melissa said, yeah, they live like they in a hotel. Let me break this down, though. Let me break this down from my perspective. There's several ways that I could take this, right? There's several ways that I could take this, and I probably will take them a few different ways. So buckle up, Buttercup. You're in for a ride.
I love it.
You're in for a whole ride. Back in my day, and I didn't grow up in the streets, but I was what they call a Renaissance woman. I was what they call a Renaissance woman. What's a Renaissance woman? A Renaissance woman is the woman who is the young lady who I went to private school 1st through 8th grade. So going to private school, I grew up around people who had money. Okay. I grew up and went to school with people from all different cultures. And on average, when I went to school, I was typically what you would consider the broke kid in the group. Right. Because I came from the family that could barely keep up with the tuition. But it gave me exposure to how the affluent world works. Right. So then as a kid, when I went home and my mom and my stepdad had a little tiny apartment. So those kids, I grew up with those kids, and them kids in the building across from us, they had roaches. You understand what I'm saying? And so sometimes them kids across the way, their lights would get cut off or whatever. So struggle was the conversation in the sandbox with those kids, okay? Then I grew up in the black church. So then you have Saturday morning while all the other kids was watching a Soul Train, I was down at the church for choir rehearsal. So I know very, 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 very well the black church. You see what I'm saying? I'm what you like to call a Renaissance woman. I know a little bit about the street. I know a little bit about, the upper echelon. Ain't that how they say it? The upper echelon. And then I know a little bit about the black church. And so I created this hodgepodge philosophy or outlook on life. And so the common denominator with all three of those groups were people from all walks of life. The haves, the have-nots, the black, the white, the Hispanic, the Mexican, the Jew, whoever. There's three groups of people that you never mess with, right? There's three things that you never do with all of these groups of people. Get your pen and paper. Let's go to school, children. Don't miss a beat. There's three things that you never do. Three lines in the sand that you never cross. You never mess with the elderly. Why? Because you respect the generations that came before you and everything that they had to do to get there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everybody who's anybody know you could never be where you are had somebody before you not paved the way. So you always respect and honor the elderly or the people, the seniors, the mothers of the church, the people who came before you, even in your own family, even in your own community, even in other people's community. You respect and you don't touch the elderly, right? You keep that. That's a protected class. Even on the streets, they used to be a protected class. Second thing you never do. You never mess with children, You never mess with women and children. You don't mess with women and children. Why? Because women and children are held in high regard. You're supposed to be the vulnerable class, the class of people that's always looked after, the class of people that men will lay their lives down and die for, men of honor and men on the streets. You don't mess with nobody's mama, nobody's grandmama, they auntie, they wives, they baby mama, they daughter. There's just certain lines you don't cross.
Right.
Very much so like the Mason-Dixon line. You know, once that line was drawn, Bubba knew not to cross that line. Understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's certain lines without ever having to speak a word that even if you a clown on the street, a fool in the penitentiary, you know you don't mess with nobody's goddamn mom. You understand what I'm saying? It's that kind of video. Buckle up, Buttercup. Huh? I'm taking y'all to church now. We got another group of people we got to talk about. We ain't talking about the last group of people. There's another group. There's another thing that you don't do. Well, it's not a group. This is just a philosophy, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to not cut off your days, you don't want your days to be numbered. You want to see the latter part of your years. You don't want God to cut you up out of this thing called life. There's something you just don't do. It's written in the Bible, but it's also written in the mind of those who have common sense. You don't play with God. You understand what I'm saying? You don't play with God. There's people who would kill. There's people who would steal. There's people strung out on drugs, crackheads. There's women on the corner of all corners of this country that sell their body on a daily basis. But even those people that the world would see having less than when it comes to a moral compass. You understand what I'm saying? They still have ethics. They still have morals. They know better than to play with God and to play with the people of God. You understand what I'm saying? And so I don't know. It's something about Lamar. It's something about him. I can't refer to him as bishop. The words can't even form themselves in my mouth is because although I cuss and I sit here and I act a fool a little bit, anybody who's connected to this channel know, without a shadow of doubt, I hear from God on a regular basis. I'm very spiritual. I'm entertaining, but that's to draw the people in to get people's attention. But one thing you will always know, and you can never ever question, is God speaks to me in ways. And when he speaks to me in ways, I see people on social media. I interact with people in my personal life. And there's certain things about people's spirit that repulse me. Turn my stomach even. You understand what I'm saying? And this man turns my guts. There's nothing, the Holy Ghost ain't even near this man. You understand what I'm saying? But the danger, let's talk about the danger of a predator like this. When I was in college, I took a sociology class and they taught us about this concept called affinity groups and affinity fraud. And when we took this sociology class, and for those of you guys who don't know what sociology is very much so like psychology, but instead of it being the study of one person's mind, it's the study of groups of people and how groups of people behave and act and interact with each other. So there was a concept that my professor broke down. And as I seen this whole thing play out in the media, and as I watched this story, and as I watched him go from being a person who was robbed allegedly during his sermon in his church, and I watched this whole thing play out, and I've been very quiet about the whole thing. I said, my people are making a lot of allegations about this man. What is it that keeps drawing these people into our community? And how is it that these people are taking advantage of people who look like themselves? And it's very similar. God brought it back to my remembrance. He brought it back to my remembrance. And I remember my sociology teacher talking about affinity fraud. What is affinity fraud? Affinity fraud is where you see people from your own community. It's not always racial, but oftentimes that's the first step. That's the first hurdle, right? You see people from your own community who have the ability to get close to you, to take advantage of you. They prey on you. What is affinity fraud? Affinity fraud might be, hey, Sean and I are both black women, right? Sean and I both, let's say we work down at the same company, right? So I might get next to Sean because there may be very few black women in our department. So maybe I get next to Sean, I get close to Sean, and I start befriending her, and I start using certain rhetoric. Like, hey, sis, I see you all the time walking to the water cooler. Sis, y'all understand that? Sis, I see you all the time walking to the water cooler. Hey, we should go to lunch. We should do lunch sometime. Then I start to get a closeness with her, and I start to figure out, what does she like to do? Oh, sis, you a part of a sorority. My cousin is in that sorority. You understand? I start interweaving common denominators, common factors. This is how these pastors and these deacons and these people come close to the church. And this is how they get close to you, is because they use certain language that are like buzzwords for you. They start quoting scriptures, and then you feel like, oh my God, that's in alignment with everything that I've been praying for. And they get close to you. You understand what I'm saying? And so this is how these sorts of things happen. And so far too often, what everybody in the streets know is the most vulnerable group of people that there is on planet Earth are not just black people. Let me be specific. It's black people in the black church. Black people in the black church are the most vulnerable population of people that there are. You give chance after chance after chance after chance to people. And I'm not saying just because this man had a criminal background, you weren't supposed to follow him, or just because he had a criminal background, you were supposed to shun him. That's not what I'm saying. But far too often, that's the breeding ground for this affinity fraud, right? That's the breeding ground, because whereas in the outside world, let's say this same fool, Lamor Whitehead, let's say he approached entrepreneurs. You understand? I'm an entrepreneur. My best friend's an entrepreneur. Let's say he went to a luncheon, okay? Let's say he went to a luncheon and he came into the room with a bunch of entrepreneurs. We do this in our sleep. Our minds are sharp. When it comes to a business deal, a snake, a fraud, we smell that coming in the door. You understand what I'm saying? Because we eat, think, and breathe money. The equations, if this is a good deal, if this is legal, if this is not, we have our own team. We ain't gotta wait till something go down. Lawyers and all that, that's a part of our networking group. We can call somebody and have the answer to the question within 5 minutes, whether it's our industry or not. You understand what I'm saying? He couldn't pull this nowhere else but the black church. So it begs the question, why do things like this keep happening? And I'm not saying that it's only in our community, because look at the Bernie Madoffs, right? Thanks. Look at everybody who's done it in other communities. It's the same concept. It's affinity fraud. It's the same exact concept. The same exact concept. But I'm going to tell y'all something that's going to be unpopular. But I have to say it. I'm going to give the most unpopular opinion on social media, and it's going to make a lot of y'all mad. I did 2 videos years ago. Sean will attest to it. I did a whole breakdown on why the black church is losing members. I did a whole, if you were there, let me know in the comments if you've been rocking with us that long. Matter of fact, I could even link the videos back on the page. I did a whole series. Every black pastor that's a mega pastor, we had mega pastors being tagged by their memberships. We had priests being tagged by their memberships. We had people from different religions outside of Christianity being tagged. We had more numbers on that video, and I'm telling you, the overwhelming response that we kept getting in our inbox was, thank you, sis, from them pastors. Thank you. Thank you for having the conversation. Thank you for bringing it forth. Because I said what everybody else was afraid to say. I addressed the elephant in the room. Far too often, we turn a blind eye to what's going on. Here's why the black church is falling apart. How does all of this go down? How does all of this go down with Lamor Whitehead? And I have not seen not one pastor denounce him, say he needs to be sat down, speak out against him. I have not seen it. Now, am I saying that it didn't happen, that pastors are not doing it? No, because of course I haven't seen everybody's live. I haven't sat under everybody's ministry. I haven't, you know what I'm saying, been privy to all of the conversations that pastors have been having with their members. But I'm talking about this has to be called out from the top. This has to be called out from the top. You have to take a stance. Pastors, we got to know where you stand on certain subjects. You can't keep wavering. This teeter-tottering is getting you nowhere fast. There's elephants in the room, and your doors are going to be closed in a matter of years if you don't start drawing a hard line in the sand. Not just when it comes to people coming in the community, praying on our elderly and praying on our women. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Lamor Whitehead is just the topic of conversation on tonight. But if pastors don't start taking a stance on what's going on in the world, you're going to have no power, no place. The people are already barely listening to y'all. They're going to turn a deaf ear to y'all because people are spending 6 days a week hurting. The suicide rate is going up. People's income is going down. People looking around, looking for help, and they have nowhere to turn. Nobody wants money from the church. People want answers. People don't want the fish. They want to learn how to fish. You understand what I'm saying? So what happens every Sunday morning? What happens once a week when everybody go to Bible study? I'm going to tell you what happened. People get in the car. They go to church. And it's very similar to getting into a time capsule. People walk in the front doors, they hugging and they loving on folks, and the elephant in the room is never addressed. The pain of the people is never addressed. You open your book to either the Old Testament or the New Testament. Your pick, don't matter. And you take the people back 2,000 years. You take us back 2,000 years. Look, Pastor, go ahead and log off. I don't care anyway because I'm not a member of your church. Who gives a damn about what happened 2,000 years ago if 30 days ago I couldn't pay my rent? You understand what I'm saying? If I'm a single mom and I got 3 kids, 5 kids, because that's who really make up your congregation. If the elderly is sitting there looking at their social security check and they robbing Peter to pay Paul, and all you can talk about is tithes and offering, 10%. We trying to do this to take the church to the next level. Ask yourself, as a pastor, as a leader, if you're not working on helping the people increase their money, improve their finances, get out of debt, fix their credit, if you're not partnering with people who are experts in the field, bringing experts in the field into your congregation to address your people and to give them the tools and the resources, why in the hell are they coming back next week? So not only should Lamor Whitehead's church be dismantled and they should just close down because there's no power, no spirit, there's nothing flowing through there but nonsense. You're wasting the people's time. You're going to eventually have more victims, the more people who stick close to this fold. You understand what I'm saying? But this is just shining a light on everything that's going on around this country. And here's why I get tired. Is because the Black church is notorious for using the gifts, the God-given gifts, whether you believe that God gave it to us or not, the rest of the world value it. The rest of the world value it. You take advantage of the God-given gifts that the gays and the lesbians have. When it comes to directing the choir or playing the organ or playing the drums or bringing me in for a business meeting
or doing hair, outfits, and things like that.
You know, you all on it. You all on our lives, right? But then when you see us on Sunday, then you preaching from them same scriptures, right? And I don't care if that's your stance as a pastor, then that's your stance. But you cannot continue to be lukewarm about core topics that the people want to know. You got to take a stance. I seen an article, so it's not just me saying this. This was a whole article that I'm drawing this information from. So I'm drawing from my personal experience and I'm drawing from facts. I'm drawing from research that I did. There was a whole article that said this is the title of the article, why the Black church continues to fail. Why the Black church continues to fail. It was written February of 2022. Why the Black church continues to fail. Here's why. The Black church is not running like a business. You're running like a hustle. You're serving the leadership at the top as the forefront, and then you're thinking about everything else as an afterthought. You understand what I'm saying? So as a result of that, we have years and years and years and generations of the elderly or the seniors getting older. You are losing the young people because you have not been training and developing your young people.
You're not feeding them.
You're not feeding them, right? You're not in tune with what's going on with the culture. When George Floyd got killed, I was looking for some leaders in the church. I ain't heard nobody talking about it. That was during the pandemic when everybody pastor was going live. I'm like, y'all, why we in the Old Testament, New Testament? You're supposed to give the scripture and then you're supposed to immediately get into feeding the people. The people are hurting. They're looking for answers. Tell that black mother you trust God with your son. When that black mother call you and she like, oh, I seen what happened over here with this social justice issue, or I seen what happened over there. What word are you giving to that young man? What are you teaching them young people about how they encounter the law? What are you teaching those mothers? What are you teaching those fathers? Them young people who no longer believe or feel like God forsake them. What are you teaching them? Huh? You're not teaching them anything. You taking us back 2,000 years. We're going from 2022 and we immediately walk in the door and get put 2,000, years back. No, talk about the elephant in the room. Address what the people want to know. Take a hard stance, whether you agree or disagree. What are your thoughts about homosexuality? What are your thoughts about abortion? What does the Bible say about politics and who they should be voting for, who they should be supporting, who's in their best interest, who's not in their best interest? What is your stance? Be firm. Stop wavering. Stop trying to say what you think the people want to hear. Stop dancing. When you have people like Lamor Whitehead, speak out about that. Say, for God I live and for God I die. You understand what I'm saying? If you can't take a stance, get your ass out the pulpit.
But they do that because they don't want to ruffle no feathers because that messes up their ties now.
Thank y'all for the stars. Thank you very, very much for the stars. I don't have a dog in the fight because I could care less, right? I could care less. But let me tell y'all one doggone thing. Let me tell you one doggone thing. Not only am I a business and a finance coach, what qualified me to be a business and a finance coach? For years and years and years, and this is a repeat for those of y'all who've been rocking with us. But for those of y'all who knew, let me tell y'all one thing. For years, I worked for a small company. Tooth and cheek. What they say, chicken, whatever, chicken tongue, with that.
Something like that.
Yeah. I work for a little bitty insurance company called State Farm. You understand what I'm saying? A little tiny company. They number one in insurance, but whatever. I worked for State Farm in a number of capacities before I retired from State Farm. Had two insurance offices, one in Chicago, one in Indianapolis. During my time at State Farm, I had so many pastors. I had a couple rabbis. I had a couple people from mosque. I had people from all religious backgrounds reach out to me and say, hey, I got a call from such and such across town. That's a friend of mine. You went over there. You did a life insurance seminar. You went over there. You did a financial literacy seminar. You went over there. You did a group or a session, a 6-week intensive for married couples and how to help them with their finances. Mm-hmm. We want to bring you in. What is your price? Oh, okay. Send me the invoice. I had people do that from all over the place. I was constantly traveling, constantly on the road. Can I be honest with y'all? The people who asked for me the most were people from other communities. The people who value my skills the most were the people from other communities.
Yeah.
And if I could be honest with you, if a lot of the pastors would have said, hey, we ain't got a whole lot of money, and I know you usually charge a certain amount, but that's a little bit much for our budget, so I can't afford that. Back then, now I'm not doing it because now I know better. I know you can pay for and afford what you want to pay for and afford. So now don't even slide in my inbox because the answer is no, right? I'm not doing it for free. Now, if you want the price tag, we can talk offline about that. But back then, I was charging $5,000 for certain seminars. There was like a couple of week, thing or whatever that I would do with the people, and I would walk them through this full like masterclass type of concept. But they would pay me and I would come in and they would have a congregation of 300, 500, 1,000 people, and I would address all of these people. So imagine pastors all of your members hearing the same message at the beginning of the year. By the middle of the year, people's credit score have gone up 100 points. People are now qualifying for homes. People are now saving and investing. And that's how you start to make more money on the tithes and offering side. You understand what I'm saying? You too busy trying to put the cart before the horse. How in the hell you gonna ask the single mom who only got $1,000 coming in any doggone way to pay more money, to come up with more money, to start being a part of y'all fundraisers? Y'all stop selling them chicken dinners. They ain't good no way. You understand what I'm saying? That's a hustle. What is the long-term strategy? What is the long-term strategy to take your people on a journey from here to here? And if you don't have the long-term strategy, who are you partnering with within the community that have those resources, that have that information? The reason why y'all don't want to work with me is because you know I am openly proud lesbian. I'm an openly proud lesbian woman. Huh? You can't get past what I look like. But I tell you who can. Them other communities. And I tell you who getting results. Them other communities. Those other communities are getting results. They don't get caught up in all the fool-la-la. That foolishness and that religion and your ties to your traditionalism is what's keeping your congregation broke and stressed and sick and all of these things. This is what's making people leave. This is why people are walking out of the door with you on Sunday and you talking in circles, repeating yourself, saying the same stuff over and over again, reading them same scriptures and them same rehearsed lines that you start and we finish. And they're watching me the other 6 days a week. Why are they watching me? Because I show up and give them more value for free than you're asking for in the collection plate. I show up consistently 7 days a week and I feed your people. Huh, pastors? I feed your people more than many of you do. And that's just where we are. So I'm not saying that you should call me. What I'm saying is this. The truth hurts. I told Sean I was going to get a shirt made that say facts over feelings. Facts over feelings.
Facts over feelings.
Now you can get in your feelings and you can log off. You can curse me out. You can do whatever you want to do. It's not going to matter to me. Because here's what you cannot dispute. You cannot dispute that I'm a successful Black woman. I'm masculine presenting, I'm openly gay, and I get results for the people. You cannot dispute that. You cannot dispute that, right? You cannot dispute that people from other communities find value in me. Whether their religious book, whether the Quran says otherwise, whether the Bible says otherwise, whether is it the Talmud? That the Jews
think so.
Regardless of their book of choice, regardless of what it says, they say, hey, facts over feelings. If the overall vision for the group is to move the group from here to here, then we got to bring in experts. We need to bring in people who can help us with our money. We need to bring in people who can make sure we have insurance policies. We need to bring in attorneys to make sure all of our legal documents are taken care of. They bring in the best. Y'all so caught up with the material things and y'all so caught up with different things, like the fact that, girl, listen, them people ain't worried about who I go home with.
They don't care.
We come to the table and we take care of business. The rest of the world operate by a code of ethics and values that the church don't know nothing about. The church get lost in the sauce, like the kids say. You get lost in the sauce. Because you sitting there not wanting to call across town to talk to the person who called you because you Baptist. And you talking about, I'm not calling them. I'm not working with them. They over there speaking in tongues. Ain't nobody working with them. Meanwhile, you got the Jews and the Muslims working together. You got other groups of Christians working with the Muslims. You got all these other groups. You got the Black people working with the Hispanics. You got the white people working with the Black people. You got all these other groups who like, girl, we put our bullshit aside. We take care of business over here because the overall goal, the overall goal is to hold true to my core values. But the overall goal is for the collective to come together and extract as much value as we can from each other. I'm not going to harm you. That's what my book of choice says. I'm not going to harm you. I'm going to keep God first. I'm not going to harm you. I'm not going to judge you. That's not what I'm called to do. Okay? So I'm going to love on you. We're going to come together. We're going to do business. It's going to be ethically, morally, all of this different stuff. And then everybody win. Right? And a lot of people want to see this whole situation with Lamor Whitehead and be like, see, this is what the love of money gets you. That's a lie. That's a lie. Stop telling people lies across the pulpit. It's not the love of money that gets you this foolishness. It's not the love of money. Huh? This man just simply is unethical.
And corrupt.
Point
blank period.
Huh? He made the conscious decision, and he continues to make the conscious decision to choose to steal, to rob, to do quick money, right? He do hustles, right? He's a clown. He do hustles versus building a successful business that's sustainable, that's generational. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people who do that. But I'm going to let you read some comments because I already know people probably...
No, a lot of people are saying, tell it, you speaking. They went off on a tangent with your chicken because one of the best friends says, now wait a minute, best friend, the fried chicken be hitting. It's the green beans that aren't good. So
girl, it be the green beans, it be the chicken, girl, it be all of it. I can get better down the here. But the bottom line is we got to get away from doing these hustles in church. And we have to start thinking as a people, we have to start thinking long term. But can I be honest with y'all? We can't put, when it comes to money, the reason why group economics don't work for us is because we're trying to put the cart before the horse. I can't send you the math class that 11th graders and 12th graders should be working on. We can't talk about calculus and geometry if we can't master addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. If we can't master the foundational stuff, then we shouldn't be coming together talking about building, right? We got to work on the foundational stuff. That's what our no debt reset program is. It's the foundational stuff. You got to get that foundational stuff before you could talk about jumping into, I'm buying crypto and that's how y'all get got all the time. You looking for hustles. You looking for fast money. You have to retrain your mind. Nothing happens fast. Nothing good happens fast.
Now, Vania did say, she said, there are two pastors who are the exception. And she said, Reverend Dr. Marcus Cosby of Wheeler in Texas and Dr. Howard John Wesley in Virginia. She said that's why she listens to them. And I know that there are some exceptions.
Yeah, and I said I don't listen to everybody. And I'm sure there's probably more people than just what she named. There's probably more people, but I'm saying the overwhelming majority. Right? The overwhelming majority. If you have thousands and thousands and thousands of churches, we gotta, and I'm not trying to, Vania, I know you're right. You dead on, right? But what I'm saying is we got to look at everything from the big picture. We got to start looking at everything from the macro, not the micro. We got to say overwhelmingly, is it this or is it this, right? Overwhelmingly, we got too many people that's quiet. And so it begs the question, why are these pastors quiet? Why aren't these leaders speaking up? It's because there's local politicians who's greasing their palms. They paid. They can't say nothing. They can't say nothing. Huh? It's not that they don't want to say nothing. They can't say nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
Why do you think around election time, you be sitting in service and all of a sudden this politician come walking in the church and spend 30 minutes of your sermon time talking about the election? And you be like, what does that have to do with anything?
Everybody in bed with somebody. And y'all can say what you want to say, and Sean probably going to kick me under the table. I have so much respect for the Muslim faith. I have so much respect for Minister Farrakhan because he said, I'm free. Do you know what it means to be free? Huh? Do you know? Could you imagine if your pastor wasn't in bed with nobody? You understand what I'm saying? Could you imagine what the conversation would be like in the pulpit on Sunday if the only people he had to please was you and God? Huh? If he didn't have to think, oh, I better not say this because this politician gonna say, you know, they gonna get mad. I'm gonna get a call in the morning if I say this. Could you imagine let's take a small church. What would 300 people look like? Let me tell y'all how this thing could go. Let me just give y'all some help. This is a nugget that you can use this and get this to your pastors and you could say it's your idea. I don't even mind. Let's say you belong to a congregation, it's 300 people. We're going to use a small church. It's 300 people. Let's talk about who go to this church. You got everybody from the people who unemployed to the people who retired to the people then you got the people who have entry-level jobs. They work at McDonald's, Walmart. They just getting going, right? They trying to figure it out. But in that 300, you got some people who work for corporate America. You might have one doctor. You might have one lawyer. You might have one accountant. Even if you don't have a doctor, you got somebody who's very closely connected to a doctor. You understand what I'm saying? You got somebody who can quickly call up a good lawyer. Maybe there's a good lawyer. You might have an architect. You got some business folks. Somebody in that 300 working HR. You understand what I'm saying? There should never be the time where once a month, once a quarter, once a year even, y'all not getting people together saying, okay, get up here and give a 60-second spiel on who you are, what you do, and how you can help the body.
There you go.
Who are you? What do you do? How can you help the body? Huh? Oh, well, Pastor, my name is Sister Johnson, and so I work down at Geico Insurance, and I'm entry level, but I work in human resources. Oh, okay, sister, what do you do down in human resources? I help people who want to come into the company work in customer service. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you got 10 people, huh? Mm-hmm. 10 people who you can get with, 10 people who need you. You understand what I'm saying? Is there a sister that's a teller down at the bank? Is there a guy? Is there somebody who worked down at the bank? Huh? Come over. Brother Smith, you work down at the bank? Yeah. I'm a teller, Brother Pastor. I'm a teller. Okay, Mr. Smith, can you have one of your coworkers, somebody from down at the branch, come in? We want to talk about how we can qualify for homes, how we could do this, how we could do that. Sure, Brother Pastor, my supervisor will get in touch with such and such. We could arrange that the first Saturday of next month. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is collective. This is working together. We're in Kwanzaa right now. Huh? One of the principles of Kwanzaa is collective. What is it? Look it up for me. Huh? Working together. This is networking. This is networking. But it's far too often, y'all. This is why this hasn't happened.
It's Ujima, collective work and responsibility to build and maintain your community.
Collective, say that again. Collective work
and responsibility to build and maintain your community together. Ujima.
Huh? What does it hurt? What does it hurt? You're adding value to your employer. You're adding value to your church. You understand what I'm saying? What does it hurt? Mm-hmm. Give the people what the hell they need. And stop being so selfish. The leadership is too selfish. When you lead with you spend all your time begging, trying to get what you want. When you lead with what they want, you never want for anything. Huh? And I'm just telling you from personal experience. In business, when I led with what I wanted, I was stressed out about numbers. Ask Sean, she worked in my insurance office. I used to come out of the office and be like, how many calls did y'all make? Her and the team. How many life insurance appointments do y'all have? I was leading with what I wanted. I wanted 5 policies a day. I wanted at least $1,500 of new premium coming in a day. I wanted that. But when I started to listen to God, and I started to listen to what the people needed, not what I wanted, not my light bill, not my mortgage. But when I put my ear to the ground and I started to listen to what the people needed, and the people told me what they needed, I gave them what they needed. They referred me to their leaders. They referred me to their pastors. Then I would go into these churches and I would do these seminars. See? Right? And I would serve at a very high level. And yeah, I would invoice the church. And then what would happen, I would get ready to leave and the people would stop me at the door to the point where after the second one, I had to start bringing my team because I had to make sure I had multiple people available from my team that was licensed and qualified to have the conversations. And they would ask us all sorts of questions. And they would say, well, I got my insurance over here with such and such. Can I send y'all my policies? Can y'all take a look at what I got? Far too often, y'all start showing up and it's all about you. Don't nobody church give a damn about you? Huh? Pastors, don't nobody give a damn about you. Show up and serve the damn people or close your doors. Tag y'all pastors. Show up and serve the people, serve God, serve the people, or close your doors. And if you want to talk about it, we can go live. In my Cherie Whitefield voice, what that girl name on Whitfield, huh? Cherie used to say, and who gonna check me, boo? And who gonna check me, boo? You understand what I'm saying? Who's going to check me? Who's going to check me? Huh? Nobody. Because you can't find a lie in the conversation. That's the thing about me. You can't find a lie in the conversation. And you're looking at a free Black woman. I ain't got nobody to please. I show up for the people and I give the truth every single day. And that's it. That's it. There's no hidden agenda. And I serve them at a very high level and I give them everything I got. And as a result, you know what they do? They give me what I need. I give them what they need and they keep giving me what I need. And every time they give me what I need, I go to God every single night and I cry out to him and I thank him. Huh? Because when you're an entrepreneur, you out here getting it with no safety net during a down economy. And I thank him and I trust him and I say, God, you know, I got a mortgage. Huh? I have a partner. I have 2 kids I got to feed. You know better than I know. And because you know better than I know, I'm trusting you. And so I don't know what tomorrow brings. I'm trusting you. I don't know what tomorrow brings, but I'm going to keep showing up. And I'm going to keep telling the people what you told me to tell the people. And then once my cup is empty and I'm done pouring, I'm going to spend time with Sean and the kids. I'm going to replenish and I'm going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to do it again. And every single day, our income keep going. And it's been like that for the past 2 years. Too many people getting up in pulpits saying they trust God, but they live in something else. You saying it's about God and it's not. Your actions show it. The people see that you weak and you stressed out. You don't want to be there half the time. You know what I'm saying? We just got to have a conversation. The people don't expect you to be perfect, but they expect you to be honest. When stuff is going on in the community, the women are looking to you to protect them. Protect them is not just wrapping your arms around them, keeping the boogeyman out. Protecting them is speaking the truth. Sometimes a man's voice is louder. A man could say the same thing I'm saying, but when he say it with authority. He says it with his chest. And women sit up straight. Kids sit up straight. Kids be quiet. Ladies cross their legs. They sit on the edge of their seat because that's what the women been wanting. And if they can't get it at home, if they don't have a man at home and they doing it by themselves, Pastor, you the closest thing to God that they got. And we letting the people down. Every single week, y'all keep doing this dance. Y'all letting the people down. I stopped going to church a long time ago, but I support my granny and my family and them going. There's a conversation that we know not to have because the conversation usually turn ugly because the same kind of way I'm talking to y'all, I don't curse as it relates to my granny and them because I'm respectful, but they know how I feel. So when they be like, why don't you come to church? I'll be like, hell no. In my mind, I'll be like that. But out loud, I'll be like, no. Because I can spend more time with God. I don't need somebody. This is not the Catholic Church. I'm not Catholic. And it's no shade to the Catholic Church. I don't have to go in no clothes. I don't have to confess to somebody else. I have a direct connection to the person I need to speak with. So I don't have to go to the pastor on Sunday, and I don't have to sit and be judged, and I don't have to go through all of this thing where I'm made to feel uncomfortable, and my kids are told that they were born out of, sin and all this other stuff. My kids weren't born out of sin. My kids are miracles, if we honest. You understand what I'm saying? And so I don't have to go through that. I could sit in my own crib with my beautiful woman and my kids. And I don't have to go through somebody else or deal with whatever. And I can take my gifts to the places that appreciate me the most. I show up for the people that appreciate me the most. And they ask me to come back, and I keep showing up. And I keep showing up, and I keep pouring, and I keep giving. You understand what I'm saying? And God keeps providing. I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. I've never seen it. Never seen it. On my worst day, I've never seen it. When I was in the car, sleeping in the car, and I didn't have a roof over my head, and I was in college, I never seen a hungry day. I never seen a hungry day. You understand what I'm saying? He never took his hands off me. So if I'm so sinful and I'm what y'all say, God spews it out of his mouth, and he whatever, Sodom and Gomorrah. Y'all talk about that all the time. If that's your truth, ride with it.
I know he has saved me, honey.
You understand what I'm saying? Can't nobody tell my story. You wasn't there. You wasn't there when I told God. I said, God, I was standing in the shower. Y'all done heard the story. I said, God, I've showed up for other people my whole life. I barely asked you for anything. I thank you for everything you've done. But Sean and I, as you know, God, we going to the fertility doctor. She wants a beautiful little girl, and I want a handsome boy. I want a boy. And I don't know if you could see fit, but if you could give either her what she wants or me what I want. They keep saying that the likelihood of me getting pregnant is so low, right? It's so low. The chances are so low. And we just did this first insemination, and they told me almost as a guarantee, you're not going to get pregnant. So stop thinking that you are. The medicine we give you the symptoms like you are, but stop thinking that you are. And I kept holding my belly, and I was 30 years old. Sean was taking me to Miami for my birthday, and I was walking around and I was speaking to those kids. He didn't give her what she wanted. He didn't give me what I wanted. He gave us what we wanted. She got her girl, and I got my boy. And I said, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I said, God, I'm a little vain. And everybody know I be joking, right? So please make sure these kids have all their fingers and toes, and make them a little cute. If you can, make them healthy and everything, but if you can make them a little cute, I would greatly appreciate it. I said, because, I be, sometimes my jokes run away. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I go a little too far, and I don't want to then become the joke. You understand what I'm saying? And he heard that. You understand what I'm saying? He heard it. Y'all can't tell me what God won't do for two lesbians. I don't care. I don't care what book you reading from. You can go back to that thing, because I don't know who wrote it and who. The question is, who remixed the book before they passed it to you, Who remixed the book before they passed it to you? We'll never know. We could have a religious debate all day. We'll never know. We'll never know. People cutting off good people that could be a blessing to them based on a book. Based on a book. And I'm not disrespecting anybody's book of choice, but you willing to cut off your nose. What they old folks say? Cut off your nose to spite your face. For many people that's in the Black church, somebody like me, somebody like Sean, many other entrepreneurs, many other business people that I know and I'm connected to, we the best thing ever could have happened to your congregation. And I don't say that with arrogance. I'm saying we could bring value. But you so caught up in a book that somebody gave you. You understand what I'm saying? You wasn't there when it was written, and neither was I. You caught up in a book that somebody gave you, and you willing to lay down off a book that somebody gave you. I will say put the book down for now, even if it's just for the night. Go to God. and let God lead you the rest of the way. Reference the book, but don't be so caught up in the book that you miss the people. Huh? Don't be so caught up in the book that you miss the people. Because it was the Black church that really made me walk away from church. It was the criticism. I was 18 years old. I was a child. It was my own family members. It was my aunt. She couldn't deal with the fact that I was gay. So what she do? Start confiding in folks. Them people don't have a dog in the fight. So you confiding in them, you going to them, you crying to them, and they're gossiping about me. And they're talking about me. And they're taking their kids that I'm best friends with and very close to, and they're saying, I don't want my daughter around her. That's hurtful as a child. And so that same church, years later, called me. They needed me. They needed me. They asked me for my help.
Won't he make your enemies your footstool?
Won't he make your enemies your footstool? Their pastor was retiring. They wanted me to come in and look over paperwork and contracts and life insurance policies and all of that and make suggestions on the bylaws and what changes should be made and all of this other stuff. And it was somebody on the deacon board that came to me and said, wait, sister, you getting ready to leave. What can we do to get you back? I said,
Nothing.
I love you. I respect you. And I'm here probably because of you. Right? A lot of them other folks, I don't have nothing for. I understand that my grandmother's still a member here and my family members are still members here. So I'm not going to say or do anything disrespectful. But a lot of the people that was in that boardroom that I had to sit across from, that I had to meet with, they put their mouth on me in a very bad way. And looking at them, it still stings. You understand what I'm saying? Because I go back to that 18-year-old child. I needed God. I needed God and I needed guidance. And I didn't get either. I didn't get either. And there's a lot of Black people who have a similar story to me. So the people come to church on Sunday, y'all, and they get information, but they heard it over and over again. And they leave and they show up on social media looking for answers, looking for communities, looking for conversation, looking for belonging, looking for togetherness. Huh? And we give it to them. We don't turn nobody away. Unless you're disrespectful to one of us or to one of the best friends in the comments, we don't turn anybody away. People with different thoughts, different religions, different communities, we love on everybody over here. Yeah. Because I know what it feels like to be that person that didn't belong or was made to feel less than. Don't let choices that people make that don't have shit to do with you move a needle in your household or impact you to the point where you're suffering as a result of. God will put the answers in the mouth of the person that's your enemy, that you think is your open enemy. You praying for the answers to the question. You looking for the solution. You don't look under your mattress. You don't look everywhere. You can't find no peace. Your peace is the person who you have fought with, that you judging. That's your peace. This video took a hard left turn.
Well, there's that. So like I told you guys earlier before, I'm sorry, are you done?
That's it.
Like I told you guys earlier, stay connected to Candy, okay? Like she said, she shows up. She shows up for you guys. Every time she shows up, whether it's to make you laugh, whether it's to inspire you, whether it's to educate you, whether it's to whatever it is, she shows up for you guys. We end every video. We give you opportunities. So she will take 3 questions like always. So if anybody has questions or anything like that, business, financial, etc., we'll take 3 questions. If you're a subscriber, we'll pluck your questions out, okay? Because yours stick out to us a little bit more than the others.
Only because they show up.
Only because you have your badge. It shows us that. Not because it's censored or anything like that, but it just we see your badge. Don't forget her website, her sale right now on her website, CandySincerityJohnson.com. So if you're looking for the answers to finances or, your business, et cetera, okay, go ahead and take advantage of that. So I'm going to look. Nicole said, but it needed to be said, Candy. Awesome word.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Brenda said, thanks for showing up. Crystal said that was needed. Praise God for your gifts. Lisa said that was a sermon. Okay. Renee said, pass the offering plate. Mary said, yes.
Because y'all know, because I just keep, all I can do is show up and be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally the person who used to be the choir member. I used to be a choir member. I couldn't sing. I just like to, I was one of them people who liked to but couldn't, right? So I used to be the choir member that would still cuss you out. So now I just pray at home, but I still cuss you out. You know what I'm saying? If you're wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you to those that gave stars. Serena said, I feel like we need to send tithes and offerings. Well, I mean,
you can become a subscriber.
You can become a subscriber.
Yes, become a subscriber. And there's exclusive content that's going to be over there. We have a couple of videos over there now for your immediate review, but then there's going to be more. We're going to upload more and more and more. Yes. So become a subscriber, best friend.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, Tana said, appreciate you, Candy. Monica said, you said that. Can the church say amen? All right. Well, I don't see any questions. Amir said, I really enjoy listening to y'all tonight. I'm glad. But that's dope. So it doesn't look like there's any questions. Of course, we always pay attention to the comments on the replay. So if you think of something after the fact or you watch the replay and you're like, I have a question, definitely put it in the comment section because we make sure that we read the comments all the time as much as we can.
And thank you to everybody who shared the video. If you haven't done so and you think that there could be value to somebody, even if you don't want to share it, tag somebody or send it to them. Send it to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Send it to them. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but we love you guys. Have an amazing night. As we always say, the absolute best is yet to come. But baby, we got work to do. Y'all go to the website, 50% off, CandySincerelyJohnson.com.